Hey guys, so today I'm going to be walking you through how I flip my wefts when doing a sewing. When installing the first bundle, I like to go straight across, back and forth. And as I move up my client's head, I'll curve along the side. Also notice how I'm double wefting this first bundle because I want to get as much fullness out of this install as possible. So when I reach the end of my client's head, I like to drop the first top of the track and then I continue sewing that bottom one. When I'm sewing, I go back and forth between using the single or double lock stitch method, so this just creates a knot within the sew-in when you're threading. To do this seamlessly, you thread the needle under the braid underneath the weft, making sure it lines up in the middle of the thread, and then when you pull it, it should create a knot like so. Once you reach the end of your client's head on that side, you're going to flip that track over, making sure it's right on top of the bottom of that track that you just sewed. Then you're going to thread underneath this track, going underneath the braid and doing a single or double lock stitch. I prefer to do a double lock, so what you saw me do was loop the thread around the needle twice. This will create a more secure knot. To me, this just allows the track to lay super flat, and that's important when flipping the wefts because you don't want the sides of your client's head to be bulky. As I'm going back in the opposite direction, I like to double lock stitch at least 2 to 3 times to really ensure that that's in place before continuing on. As I continue sewing, notice how I'm going underneath the net and then underneath the weft. So you don't always have to go for the client's braids because sometimes that applies extra tension that is not needed, which is why the net is installed in the first place. Once you reach the track that we left behind, you're going to pick that up and continue sewing as normal. So the first bundle is in, and now I'm going to start a new bundle, and I'm starting this halfway up the side of my client's braid. I first take the needle and put it through the weft, then I position the track in place and then go underneath the braid to sew it in place. When I'm starting a new track, I like to double lock a couple of times, maybe 2 to 3 times, to really make sure that that track is in place and it doesn't slip when my client is manipulating their hair, whether that's brushing it, shampooing it. I just really want to make sure it doesn't move or slip. Once you've decided that it's secure, you can continue sewing down using the single or double lock stitch, whatever makes you feel comfortable. And then once I reach where the other bundle is sewn, I just curve it in, continue on to the other side of my client's head. Taj, for real? So same thing, when we reach to the other side, we're going to curve it up, but this time we're going to drop that top weft again because the idea is when we flip it over, it's going to be doubled anyway. So if you were to take both wefts up along the side of the client's head, it would cause too much bulkiness because instead of flipping one track, you will be flipping 4. So we leave that one behind. We sew up halfway up the side of the client's head, and when it's time to flip, we're going to apply the same techniques as we did before. So once you flip that track over, you're going to lay it right on top of the one you just sewed down, making sure when you thread, the needle goes underneath both the braid and the weft, double locking it in place. From there, you're going to continue sewing on, making sure that you pick up the track that you left behind. So I'm going to allow you guys to watch that while I have the music playing in the background. So we're coming up on the opposite side again, and notice how I'm curving these bundles upward. Once I reach the end, I'm going to drop that top weft. You guys should know this by now. We're going to continue sewing on with the bottom weft, and this time I'm going to go all the way to the top. Now, if you're wondering why I do my installs this way, it's because I like when the hair is sewn towards the client's face. This allows their leave out to blend. You don't want your sewing to be set too far back, and then when they go to press their hair, it just doesn't fall into place and come together naturally. Again, we're going to flip it and make sure it lays right on top of that bottom track we just sewed, making sure the needle goes underneath the weft and the braid, double lock stitching this together. That's all I have for today for this video. I hope that this was very helpful with explaining how to flip your wefts when doing your sew-in so that your installs can come out much flatter and smoother for your client. If you guys have any more questions, comments, or anything you would like for me to show you in the next video, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below, and make sure you like and subscribe for more videos.